welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a homeschool room tour with you. And so if you enjoy this type of content and other homeschool and lifestyle content, please remember to subscribe and let's get into it. Okay, so at first I was worried that I was going to have to do this with all my kids like noise in the background, because the best lighting in this room for filming, especially since there's a huge window, is in the morning time if you want to see all the things in here. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna film, then I'm gonna have to have all my kids or try to get them to be quiet instead of having them doing quiet time and nap time in the afternoon when there's still good lighting coming in if I'm standing here, but not to see everything else. So anyway, my husband, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna try to get this done. And he's like, oh, I was gonna take the kids to the library. And I was like, yes. So I have the house to myself, and it's always so heavenly when that happens because it rarely happens. So they'll be gone for probably about an hour. My husband has to go teach today, so he has to be there this afternoon. So he can't be gone too long, but they just left. So we're gonna start this homeschool room tour. I do this every single year, I think, basically, and not too much has changed. Our layout is very much the same. There's just a few things maybe here and there that have changed, but I just like to show you just in case you're curious of what it looks like. And there are a few things I brought in for my toddler, and so I'll show you those as well when we get to them. But yeah, we're gonna get you flipped around in this camera, and I'm gonna try to keep it as steady as possible. My walking from ankle surgery is still not perfect. You know, I kind of like limp just a little bit. So hopefully I can keep the camera steady and you don't get this like little bit of bounce every time I move around. So here we go. All right, so here is the first glimpse of our homeschool room through the door that leads like out to our kitchen, living area and stuff like that. This was initially made to be like a beauty salon for the people that built the house, and then we moved in 8 months after it was built. So it was perfect for us. So that door actually goes outside. And then this door right here is a bathroom, just like a half bath, because again, since it was gonna be a beauty salon, it has separate things. So we have a big closet there, which I'll open and show just a little bit in this video, but they use that for like beauty products and stuff like that. So anyway, this is the first wall, and this one really has not changed in a very long time. I've kept it very similar. I think last year I updated the calendar, but there's been a calendar on here, I think, for the, like 6 years that we've lived here. So there's the calendar. We're gonna, change it pretty soon, and then some of our schedules. And then this usually is just kind of decorated with whatever I have for the holidays, or, just something simple, I don't know. And then I try not to put my hand in front of the camera because then it focuses and the lighting goes all weird. So sorry if I'm not like actually pointing to stuff. I'll try to point with the camera. But these books, I mentioned this in my planning video, I think. And so those books are all of our like fall apple pumpkin type books, and I usually change them out throughout the year. And then this whole shelf, this is from Wayfair. I got it a really long time ago. I think it's from Wayfair. I don't think it's from Jocelyn, Maine, but anyway, it's a filing cabinet. Let me open this one for you. So it kind of looks like this, so it's kind of a mess sometimes. It has extra curriculum, and then this is all just kind of subjects. It has Christmas in there, Earth Day, Columbus Day. We don't do this stuff all the time, but sometimes we do. And so I'll keep like templates in here. So there's one for apples. So some crafts and things like that are in there. And then the bottom one is more my kids over here. This is paper, and then all the construction paper and stuff like that. And then maybe this was me. Who knows? I'm blaming them, but maybe it was me. So that's what's on that side. So we use that quite frequently. This stuff is all ABCs for like more preschool and kindergarten age. So we actually might use this pretty soon because my toddler might be able to use some of it this year. So that's kind of what's in there. And then we come to our closet. So we have a scripture thing up here that I downloaded and printed on, what is this book? Foam core board? Is that what it's called? I never can remember what it's called. And then just like birthday celebrations over there. And then when we open this closet, I have shown this closet in several things, and I'm not going to go like crazy in depth in here, but we have our cart, like our homeschool, like morning basket cart. We have my kids' art supplies all on this cart. And then this stuff is all my crafting stuff. And this is just the best place for it to go, especially if I want to do crafts down here. Behind all of that stuff is a bunch of games. So we have games, and then down below there's also games, just on like these little white bookcases that I probably got from Target or something. So some of those we use for game schooling, some are more like STEM related and stuff like that. This stuff I have switched out in the last year or so is all like more preschool or toddler. Toddler not get in the way stuff. And so that's what all this is, sensory bins. There's puzzles in here. These are phonics cards that we might use for my 7-year-old. And then Bob books, some like reading things. I tried to rearrange stuff so what I needed most during the school year was right here on this shelf, because it's where I go in and just grab everything. So this is for my 7-year-old science. This is for sensory bins. These are history curriculum and my kids' binders that will go in their drawers. And then some activities back there in the back. And then just some like craft supplies and things right here. And then everything else is basically stuff we usually use throughout the year. We don't use it every year, but these are all just books. They're labeled by kind of theme. And then I keep answer keys over here, so when I go to check my kids' work, they're right there. And then if I need like manipulatives for math, or if we have a few science things up here, that's where they all are. And then like my binding machines that I don't use as often, extra KiwiCo crates and things are up here. The shredder is up there. So those are just things that don't get used as much, but it's really nice to have this huge closet. It's been such a blessing, and I just love it. I'm constantly rearranging it. So like I said, this door goes outside to just the side of our house. And then we have this big whiteboard. I made this a few years ago. I just bought like a normal huge whiteboard, probably off of Amazon. And then I made the frame around it because I looked for something for so long on Etsy and everywhere else on Amazon and just couldn't find something I like. So this is what I put together. And then obviously we have markers over there. This table is from Wayfair. And I got this particular one because of the feet. I can't at the moment remember what these legs are called, but they have a certain type of name. So it was just easier because sometimes, if you have the legs coming directly out of the corners, it's a little bit easier to hit them and doesn't quite provide as much space and as much visual space. So I liked this table. It's gotten beat up for sure over the last several years, but we like it. These chairs are probably from Wayfair. These chairs are from IKEA. I actually don't know if they still have them. We've had these for a really long time, but we like those chairs. So that's the information about the table. Maybe in the next few years, I'm gonna switch it out with our kitchen table because we'll probably need a bigger kitchen table because once my littles are at the table consistently eating, then we'll need more room than we have now. And then in one of my vlogs, I believe, I had shown this area that my kids had kept knocking off a shelf I had here because it was just on like little hooks. And so I was like, do I put new shelves up? I tried to look through my stuff because sometimes I have extra shelves or extra supplies I could create into shelves, but I just didn't have anything easy. So I found these on Amazon. There's actually a third shelf. I'll show you it in a minute. But they had so many colors and I was gonna get more of a wood color, but I have so much like wood color going on. Like this has wood color, that has wood color. And so I was like, well, maybe we should just do black. And guess what? It was such a good choice because black was $20. It was $10 cheaper. So it was like, I think $20 instead of $30 or something for the 3 shelves. And you can hang them several different ways. So mine are like this, if you can see right here. But you can have these on top or like on bottom, like so it's flipped, you know, so the decor would be like down, facing downward, if that makes sense. You could also have them so that the shelves were just sitting on these in the corner, so they'd be more floating, right? You wouldn't be able to see this kind of decoration part of it. They could just look floating. And I will try to link everything that I can down below. So if you're interested in any of the shelving, because I think this shelf up here is also from Amazon, then I'll try to link those things so that you can check them out if you're interested. But I put a little pumpkin up here because I decorated the other day for fall. Just the date up there, articles of faith we practice memorizing, and then obviously markers for this board. There's also wet erase markers in there. I'm not sure if I'll leave them in there. They're for our calendar on this other wall. So we'll see. And then over here, hopefully you can see a little better. Like I said, later on in the day, this window is so bright that you can't even see anything on this wall. Let me move back over here. So I have the shelf that I just got for decoration. Our ceilings are 10 feet in here. And so they just seem so bare, but I can't put stuff up there for my kids because they can't reach it, you know, like it's so high. So anyways, let me see if I can get the lighting on this to readjust. There we go, that's a little better. So I've just decorated it with different pieces I've got throughout the year. Sometimes I change it seasonally. Sometimes it just stays that way. And then this bookcase we have also had for a really long time. And it is, I believe, from Wayfair. And I have really liked it. It used to be upstairs in my bedroom, and now I have it down here. So there's more books like by category right here. There used to be more of my kids' books down on this shelf, but now they have them in their rooms. So there's still a few like little kids' books down here and some like nature or learning books, some science-y type books on that bottom shelf. And then these are all just like reading books that we might use throughout the school year or that my kids can read. Those are all the good and the beautiful books. This is scripture stuff. So like for church mainly, that's a big part of what we use this for. This is my shelf. So like my homeschool planner is here, my journals, scriptures, just kind of like YouTube planning book is here. Maybe it's this one actually. This one's for YouTube planning. So all that stuff is there. And then just some decoration here on the top. These are acrylic markers. These are all of Mom's pens. Nobody else is allowed to touch them. And so that's why they sit up here anyways. And then a globe. We don't use that as much right now, but when we do world geography, we do use it quite a bit. So that is what is on that wall. Okay, I closed the blinds so we could try to see this table. It's really hard, again, just the lighting coming in. If it was later in the day, you'd be so blinded you couldn't even see. So I keep moving around there. Maybe it'll change right there. So this table is something that I just brought back up. It hasn't been up here for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. And this is from Amazon. And I really like it because you can adjust the height. We've never really done that just because I've used it for the same kind of age the whole time. And then you'd also have to buy bigger chairs. They have lots of options, again, if it's still available. This is several years old. So if they have it still available, then hopefully all the chairs, there's different chair sizes and all that kind of stuff that you can buy to go with it. But this is just what we've had for a number of years. I really, really like it. It's very, very sturdy. Obviously, it's very colorful. It's bright red. I don't know if there was other color options or not. But it was down in our basement because we hadn't been using it as much up here. But we've been homeschooling more in the kitchen since with all my little kids and stuff, but we're gonna come back here this fall. And so I'm hoping to utilize this table for my toddler. And then this bin right here, again, I've showed this in my planning video, is sensory bin stuff. And so this was off of Amazon and it has all these bins inside of it. And I bought these extra accessories. They're all from the same brand. And then these can come out and like sit in here too. And then you can fill this with, you know, rice or kinetic sand or some sort of goo, however messy you want to be. And then, let them play with it. Let them have fun over here. And this will also be just if he's coloring, or if I have other activities for him to do, stickers or things like that, he'll sit over here and be able to do them without hopefully interrupting us as much. He is just a lot. He is a lot of a toddler. Out of all my kids, he is the most. And so he's just a little bit difficult. So we'll see how it works out, but that's kind of the hope with this table. Okay, then we have this wall that has our calendar. So yes, I have a couple of calendars. I like this one because I can write up the things that are happening. Obviously, I don't write everything. Some things I don't want my kids to know about. But until they're actually happening or whatever. But I like to use this calendar so that they can just glance at it and see what's happening in the month. So this is where I use a wet erase. This is like chores, the kind of checklist for the chores. And then this is the other shelf. So there's 3 different sizes. This is the middle size shelf. And you might be able to see these like anchor things a little bit better over here. Like I said, they can be flipped down or flipped like flat. So the shelf can sit on them, more floating looking. And then we have our manners. This is from Brooke Romney. She has ones for kids and ones for teens. Then I just put our typing right here. We now have 2 laptops. So this is a Chromebook. We've had this one for a long time. And then we recently just got this one. I just set it up yesterday. It's a Dell computer and it's the same as mine. So hopefully we don't get confused. And so that is going to be used a little bit more so the Chromebook, if you're familiar with them or not familiar, whatever, they are mostly, it's just to get access to the internet. You can't download huge things, put like big programs on them or anything like that. They're not made to be that way. And so we had gotten it just so my kids could type. They could use, all the Google stuff as far as, I can't think what it's called, like Google Docs and stuff on that computer. But they couldn't do much else. And they like to do the Cricut, and it was on my computer. So then they'd have to use my computer when I needed to get stuff done. So we have this one, and then as they get bigger, obviously they have more stuff to do online or whatever. And our charter school pays for us to get a computer, like a laptop or probably a normal computer as well. But so that's another reason why we spent the money and got one. And that one's from Costco, I think. Costco just has really good return policies. So that's where we like to get stuff. And the thing that's annoying right here, like I said, this wall was set up for all the hair stuff. So there was like a hair washing station. There was plumbing behind this wall, huge, lights that ran up here. And then, so since, it's for doing hair, the plugs are high. So you could plug in and, probably, I was going to say design their hair, style it. That would be the right word, style their hair. And so sometimes it's kind of annoying because then all the plugs are like floating everywhere. So I plugged this in yesterday. This is an extension cord or a, break. I can't think of words. They're hard. It's a surge protector type thing. So anyways, we'll see if it lasts. But the hard part is the cord is still right there. But it's better than having all of these plugged in and then all their cords everywhere. So that's what we have. And then this cute little sign. I don't even know where it's from. I do live in Utah, so this is Arches, obviously, but I got it from my massage therapist. They were giving them away at the studio, so there you go. And then these signs I made when we just had 4 kids, and that was the only plan, was to have 4 kids. So this was a store I found on Etsy, and they just, do the cutouts of their names, and I've moved them around. They were on the other wall behind me. They've been a few different places over the years, but right now they're right here. And then we have kind of our just station for all the school supplies right here. The printer is here, the pencil sharpener, and then all of our school supplies, pencils, colored pencils, pens, scissors, glue, markers, highlighters, all that kind of stuff's right there. All my kids' schoolwork is in these drawers. They used to have their names on them, but they kept getting pulled off. My little kids like to pull them off. And they were just getting destroyed. So I just took them off because my kids know what drawer is theirs. So my 4 big kids, once we have all the kids, I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll figure it out when we get there. But my 4 big kids are the only ones we have to worry about. So my 3 oldest here, and then my 7-year-old is over in that one. But that's where we put all their schoolwork, and then the bottom 2 drawers are kind of theirs for all their junk, I guess. But yep, I think that is it. All right, so that is our homeschool room space. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe it was helpful, gave you some ideas of things that might work for your family or things that won't work for your family. If you've been here over the years, you've seen it evolve and change and sometimes go a little bit back to what we were doing before. You know, just depending on the stage of life we're in or maybe what worked best. You know, we thought something else would work better, but it didn't, so we changed it again. So anyways, it's evolved and changed over the years, but comment down below and let me know where you homeschool. Is it a certain space? Is it just all over the place? I know some people might have a couple places where, like one where they do group work and then one where they go do individual work. You know, and sometimes we're all over the place too. We have been there the last few years. It's kind of been a mess with having babies, being pregnant, you know, just all the things. It's been a little bit tricky. And this year will still be a little bit. I'm trying to get back into this space more because it's just better for all of us when it's like this is where we're working. But we'll see how it goes since I still have 2 very young kids and it might be crazy. But I'd love to hear where you like to homeschool or maybe your favorite place to homeschool. And I'm sure it'd be helpful for other people to see too where you guys homeschool or what your homeschool space looks like. So remember to give this video a thumbs up and I will see you next time.